Kajal. Welcome to my review for this week's episode of Hiroaka Final Season. Another banger episode, ladies and gentlemen, the ending of the Todoroki fan, man. We had some great character writing. While this episode was obviously not, the action episodes are done, and, it's up in the air where Nakamura is going to show up, man. There was news that that this show, that the season, you guys know the episode count has been kind of iffy if it's 11 episodes or 12 episodes because of a tweet sent by the official Hiroaka Twitter account and adjusting the episodes from I think it was 5 episodes to 6 episodes, then back to 5 episodes. But Mal officially has it listed as 11 episodes, with the 12th episode going to be a separate OVA. Whether that's the Airy one shot from the new guidebook that just released over in Japan, it's a completely original episode. Maybe that's where we'll see Nar. That's where we'll probably see Nakamura on that episode, man. Because Gachi Akane, not only is he doing his own cut, he's apparently also credited for doing storyboards as well for the episode as well. So he's gonna be storyboarding a couple other cuts besides his own. And Vincent Chan stars on that episode too, which is insane. So that episode is going to be generational for Gachi Akane when that drops, when I finally watch it with the dub. But yeah, I'm still holding out hope that Nakamura shows up for Hiroaka's final season. I am still holding out hope, goddammit. We got 3 episodes left, and I'm a believer. So we'll see if it's just a complete original episode. It's adapting that Airy one shot. Maybe that's when Nakamura appears. Maybe he'll appear somewhere in the next 2 episodes. I'm not sure, but I'm holding out hope that Nakamura will still make an appearance in some form or fashion, ladies and gentlemen. But regardless, as I was saying anyway, ladies and gentlemen, well, obviously, the action episodes are done, so this one was basically just done by the core staff at Studio C. No real major animators or big-time animators. There were still, I think, one decently known animator that worked on this episode, man. This episode definitely had some amazing character writing, man, and just great and amazing drawings there, especially for the Endeavor section, man. That's easily where the drawings were at their best, was there definitely for the Todoroki family section near the end of the episode. But yeah, but also, as you guys know, today is my birthday. No better way to celebrate my birthday than a new episode of Hiroaka, I'd say, man. But if you guys also follow me on Twitter, you guys know that I also finally picked up Hiroaka's All's Justice. I got that pre-order for my PS5, so you look forward to that. I will be streaming the game, hopefully, assuming that, the internet doesn't crap out on me and I can stream it without any issues. But we'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, guys, so yeah, I got that going on there, man. You guys saw I got Burger King as well, like I always do for every year, man. I'm going to get pizza for tonight, man, from Domino's. So I'm eating that during Survivor Series. So if the review is delayed, sorry about that, guys. For Survivor Series, and also sorry about it because I'm starting off on the back foot for this review because of how long it took us to go to GameStop and get the Burger King. And also just how long it took for me to upload all the clips for The Boys for the season 4 finale, man. So the review might get delayed for this. So the review might be a little bit delayed because of that, man. Of course, we also got Survivor Series as well. But hopefully, I'll be able to get everything done, no problem. But anyway, just letting you guys know in case the review is delayed. But anyway, guys, I've rambled on long enough. Let's just jump right into this actual episode. So we start the episode off in the U.S. of A. in Washington State. So shout out to Seattle, though. It doesn't look like they're in Seattle because you can't see the Space Needle anywhere. Maybe a horticulture forgot to drop. Whatever the case may be, we are back in Seattle. We are back in Washington, which is, I guess that's where Meryl is from, because we're back with Meryl. She's listening off the news, and the producer, director, whoever the guy behind the cameras is like, please air Meryl, no weird ad-libs. Bro is still having flashbacks to the shit she pulled in the previous episode. But she can tell she apologized for the weather reports not being accurate last time and saying to be careful with laundry because there's still some strong winds coming in there, etc., etc., etc. And then we see this light shimmering off this scaffolding or crane thing in the episode before we hit to the OP. There's this little flicker, you may ask. We'll find out soon enough. Now, OP this time was actually, well, they did slightly change it to where, right at the end of it, they added an extra scene of the 2, I'm assuming, siblings holding hands that we see right after the OP, right when the episode gets back on after the OP finishes up. Now, if they're changing the OP for 2 random side characters that mean nothing and will only ever appear in this episode, this obviously begs the question, ladies and gentlemen. Are they going to change the OP with the far more significant handholds, Izu Ocha handholds in the next 2 episodes as well, with them in said episodes? Who knows? we'll have to wait and see on that if this ends up being a common thing for the rest of the season, where next week we get the 429 handhold, and of course, 431 handhold to end the series off in the OP. We'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we do. That'd be kind of sick if they kept that up for the next two episodes with Izuku and Uraraka. But we'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. I just find it a little bizarre that they would change it for two random side characters. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, so from here we just get some narration from Izuku mentioning how the rehabilitation efforts are going and the rebuilding everything from Jakku. And, they have a bunch of other heroes from other countries coming in and helping out, so it's going through smoothly. We also get some amazing characters. Like I said, while this episode definitely, even with this episode not being, an action episode, we still had some really great character acting. Like, that's like the one thing this episode did in terms of animation quality. We got a lot of great character acting in this episode, probably due to the fact there wasn't big any that were done with the fights, so we did see smaller stuff. Will Nakamura be doing some character acting when he finally appears? I don't know. Like, at this point, man, because we know all the action's done, there's like only a couple places where I think maybe we might see him. Maybe he might just be doing some random character. Maybe he might just do some random debris or something. I don't know. I'm still holding out hope that we will see Utapon in this. Though if we don't, man, I'm sure his Gachiaka appearance is going to be insane. But we'll have to wait and see on that. I'm still holding out hope for Nakamura. I'm still holding out hope for the Cube. We'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so yeah, we see the two temple that we saw in the ending of the OP, going there celebrating that their house is being rebuilt and watching heroes do it. Well, all this is going on there, and we literally see two heroes that are thought were bizarre. We got this one dude that's like a horse basically, but dresses like a cowboy, which I thought was interesting. A dude that seems his quirk is just he can make roads, which I'm sure is a very useful quirk in situations like this. And another guy's working with some builders that can seemingly create holograms. So yeah, it looks like his name's like 3D or something because it's on the back of his shirt, on the back of his hero costume. And then we see Koichi, while all this is going on, decked out in his pro hero costume, man. And man, this was a shot. Now, I am pretty sure this is anime original. I'm pretty sure Koichi never made a single appearance in the main series in the manga. I'm pretty sure this is anime original to have Koichi like chilling on like that scaffolding or whatever that I mentioned earlier. And this was really cool. This was unexpected, man. Now, technically, this is a massive spoiler for Vigilantes, because, the anime's only at season 1, and we're still very early on. Now, I won't get into any specifics about why he has a new costume, or why he would even be here, because 1, don't want to spoil anime only, and 2, I also don't know the full story of Vigilantes, because like I said, I'm an anime only, I never really saw much of Vigilantes. I know like bits and pieces of Vigilantes. I kind of know why Koichi got a new suit, but yeah. So this does make the question, once the rest of Vigilantes gets adapted, when they get to this point in the series, maybe in like the last episode, if they'll like do a scene where they connect these two and how where Koichi comes to this area of Japan to help out or whatever he was, or why he was, or to see why he was even there to begin with. That'd be pretty cool, man. They actually did it for Vigilantes when Vigilantes wraps up. We'll have to wait and see on that. Anyway, after that we cut back over to the hospital with Bakugo, man, where we find out that his arm is fucked. Fucked beyond belief, man. The doctors did the best they could. They were able to reform enough bone for that it's still technically unarmed, but whether or not it's just like dead weight that he can't use, that just flops about, or he can actually use it again, is up in the air, man. Though, given from what I've seen in the last couple of episodes, and of course Ryumochi's fic, I'm pretty sure his arm ends up being fine. But we'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so yeah, and then the doctor says if you want to still be a hero, you can use like prosthetics, and he says hard pass, he needs his pawns for his quirks. So, and like he's ready, and Bakugo even right after this, he says that he's like, I don't care how tough the rehab is, bring it on, man, I'm ready. And then the doctor's like, bro, just light training for you right now, you gotta fix your heart first. This is pretty funny, man. Gotta love Bakugo, man. And then we head back over to Izuku and All Might. They're chilling in their hospital bed together. Izuku mentions how Izuku talks about, well, at first they ask each other how they're going. All Might mentions that they never seen that they're ready to put so many bolts into someone. So I guess, yeah, probably a lot of broken bolts. And there's probably a lot of metal rods and stuff in his bone to keep his, keep his body upright, to fix him up. So yeah, All Might, he got fucked up. He got really fucked up with that fight from All For One. Izuku's doing pretty good, well, though now he has like scars now, and a shaved head for a couple episodes before his hair grows back out. Bro, I remember when this dropped in the manga. Do you guys know I'm an anime, but I do, because of the friends I follow and whatnot, man, I do end up seeing some stuff in the manga here and there. But I remember a lot of people were like, please, Horikoshi, do not make this Izuku's new look. I was like, myself included when I saw that. I was like, please, for the love of God, do not make this Izuku's new look. Like, that it's like kind of like a trope or whatever, a cliche in anime, that like, the end of the series after a big, moment of characters journey, whatnot, they change their hair, which is meant to signify change. That's why a lot of animators do get haircuts, to signify a change in their character and whatnot, which is what we saw with what's his name in Tokyo Ghoul Ri, Naruto, Ichigo, etc., 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 etc. And like, I was praying to God this would not, that Izuku's fate would not be the shaved head look, man. It looked awful. Thankfully, his hair grew back, and he never changed his hair. He just let it grow back to where it used to be, man. So thank you, Horikoshi, for not giving Izuku a needless hair change. Thank you for keeping it the same, just with the added scars. But yeah, anyway, Izuku says that he said that he can feel his arms a little bit. He mentioned how he couldn't save Tenko. Even once they reached out to his heart and his hatred shattered, he was still the League of Villains leader until the bitter end. And then All Might tells him that speaking as someone who survived a near-death experience, I think it matters most was the look he had on his face at the end, which obviously was a smile. All Might continues saying if the crime boy was nowhere to be found, then I think you did save his heart after all, along with accomplishing one flawless mission. And then he has to be transferred, and Izuku says yes, but he still feels never. This is when Bakugo barges in there with his parents in tow, questioning how he's even able to walk. And so, of course, Mitsuki, playing damage control like Sho, apologizes to All Might, saying he was where he wanted to be okay, and then apologizes to Izuku as well, as Bakugo just casually walks over to them both, asking him about this Ember, about his Ember. And I gotta say, jokes aside about Bakudeku and whatnot, man, this sequence was directed and storyboarded and animated to perfection. I love the constant use of POV shots as the camera swing around and starts to get foggy as Bakugo starts tearing up. And the character acting of Bakugo as well is superb. And then, of course, we also got Nobuhiko. I keep forgetting his name. It was Nobu something. I always keep forgetting his name. Nobuhiko. Yeah, Nobuhiko, you guys know, of course, was him, Rin, a bunch of other characters, man. His performance here is amazing. I can't wait. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how Clifford performs this scene, man. But anyway, Bakugo, from here, Bakugo starts getting, when he acts into Izuku's quirkless again, he starts getting flashbacks to their childhood and everything in between, as he realized just how much he's been wasting time trying to, tear down Izuku and stop him from being a hero and whatnot, questioning what he's done with his life up this point, and just been wasting time, man, thinking that, Izuku and him would always be competing against each other, and now he doesn't have that. Now he feels like a piece of shit. Jokes aside, man, it is a great moment, man, and I think ending to Bakugo's growth, having him kind of be reminded and have it right in front of him, just how much of everything he's done to Izuku, and have him deal with this realization that you have literally just been wasting years of your life, bullying Izuku. And now he realizes it, man. I think it was a great moment and a great ending point for Bakugo's growth. Of course, Izuku's in there being he starts tearing up as well, man, as Bakugo's crying, man. And he'll try to be oh no, man, I still got number, it's good. What shot that got him laughing. He says, and starts bullying him, says, what shot? Unfortunately, at the time of this recording, man, we still don't have an animator attached to this cut yet, which might be for the best, because, the Bakudeku's find him, find this animator. They're going to worship him like a god. And then if they find out he ships these, they'll be oh my god, how could you, how dare you, like they did with Horikoshi Sentence, man. Jesus fucking Christ, man. But anyway, man, amazing scene, man. No, not gonna lie, with how much I heard about this scene from friends talk about this scene, man, of course, Bakudeku's were all were losing their fucking shit about this, man. I also was expecting a little bit more with this scene than it ended up being, man, but still a great scene, regardless, man. But seriously, Bakudeku's, y'all always going up and oh, Izuku and Bakugo so bad. These are and this is the best you got? This is all you got, guys? This is the best you got? All right, I'm done. But yeah, man, great scene, man. Amazingly animated, storyboarded, directed, voice acted, man. No complaints here, man. This was incredible. Anyway, as Bakugo is crying, I love that it was like Bakugo's down, like Test Beats will be like, give him a minute until they step outside, and All Might says that they've gotten stronger. That they changed so much the day met you and the day you were off running Izuku or Yamadora. You were already Hiromaya, but now you roused everyone to action. You're a great hero to us all. And for Bakugo, he says, you made sure I'd have the chance to say all this. You're a great hero too. Thank you both, I mean it. So then we finally get a shot of Best Girl, man. Finally, she starts getting some screen time after she's been MIA for most of the season, man. And once again, she gets some amazing drawings, man. Seriously, she looked amazing. Anyway, we then finally get our first look at shaved head Izuku with the scars and everything, man. First of all, I have to say this real quick, man. I love the way they have drawn Izuku scars here, man, which is definitely different than how they used to draw him. I'm not sure if it's because of the director change with Naomi directing him, man, or just because, they had less episodes to worry about everything. Obviously, the drawings have always been more detailed this season because of that, man, or whatever the case may be. I love the way they've been, like, drawing Izuku scars, how they look, man, the color of them, man. They just look amazing, man. I love the look of Izuku's new scars here, man. But anyway, afterwards, we then get to the graduation ceremony, which the first half of this is not on Soccer Board, but I saw it on Twitter, so I might as well mention it. Rai H. I keep forgetting how you pronounce this woman's name. But she mentioned on her tweet with the episode she did the first half of the graduation ceremony. So I would definitely say at least going through the part where Nejire was hugged by what's her name that people think is her girlfriend or whatever, man. Whatever the case may be, it seems like she at least went up through that because she mentioned she did the first half of it. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, so that's the graduation ceremony. Of course, Tamaki is fighting for his fucking life. Grabbing the little like slab or whatever of the little thing of the graduation. And of course, Nejire says that she's graduated. Everyone's crying. We get this really banger track from Present Mic, which I don't know if this song's included on the soundtrack for Disney that's already been released or not, man. But this is a banger song right here that Present Mic is playing on the DJ. So, everyone is celebrating, man, everyone's celebrating everything, man. Of course, Tamaki asks Nejire, she's hurt, and she says, dude, but she's fine, and she's happy. Then we then finally see Togata finally Mirio take up the stage. Also, we also get some quick cameos from Class B, including Kendo and Kodai, which was kind of shocking to see them, but it was pretty cool to see her, man. But anyway, Togata, like I mentioned before, Mirio takes the stage, thanking everyone for the business, thanking everyone to attend the graduation, and then literally everyone falls over except Nejire, Tamaki, be like, what, no jokes? And this is pretty funny, where like literally everyone falls out of their chairs, they're all on the floor, yet even so, man, they're all still stuck in place, and while, even though they all fell over, they're all still like looking at the stage, giving Mirio their complete and undivided attention. They're all like literally just staring at the stage, which I just thought was funny, that they're all like twisting their necks around to make sure that they're still looking at the stage while they're all on the floor. I just thought that was funny. But anyway, he gives this little speech before this, like, the tank or whatever that thing was from the school festival with the chick with the big ass, long ass eyebrows comes busting in there with Mirio in his hero costume. Apparently, Izuku says in the narration here that this is a UA tradition, graduation tradition, apparently. Okay. Did not know that, but okay. And then we finally get to see Class 2A, Temp, that's what it's called. It's called Temp. With everyone there, we see that Aizo is once again their homeroom teacher, which of course everyone's happy to see him again. Mina's crying, man. Everyone's happy that that Aizawa is once again their homeroom teacher. He then tells everyone, like, come on, everyone immediately gets silent. Before this is when we see Aoyama enter the room, where he announces that he is going to be leaving UA. They said he could stay. I thought, like, because I heard about this, man, I thought he got like expelled because he was a traitor, but no, it seems like they said that he could stay, but he wants to take ownership for this, so I'm not sure what that means or where he went to. Did he defend to Shiketsu? He goes to some other random hero school somewhere else in Japan to finish off his education. Not entirely sure what happened with that, man. But regardless, he gives a little speech, man, and everything. He's crying. He pulls out some cheese while looking at Izuku, and then so he leaves, man. Does his little thing with his little where he also got a new belt as well, where he starts throwing his little lasers everywhere. Oh, Rei Ahsoka, there we go. Rei Ahsoka, there you go. I'm looking at the Sakura board page, and then this one, and then they have this cup right here that's labeled for her, and they use her full name. So yeah, I think it's like Rei Hisako is her full name. I'm not sure. I always keep feel like I'm fucking. I feel like I'm mispronouncing her name, but whatever the case may be. Anyway, Shu Shibita was also the editor behind Aoyama's section, as well as Shuhei Nishitani, if I'm pronouncing that right, is the presumed animator for when Aoyama starts flying and starts throwing his lasers all about. Which actually, because of all the lasers he starts throwing all over the place, some of them actually do land on Toru, which makes her visible. And she's like, "No, don't hit me! My clerk is still glitching." And of course, Mineta sees her. And Mineta is absolutely flabbergasted at just how beautiful Toru is, and rushed and like literally like jumps towards her, seeing like where. So that's where my goddess was. Gotta love Mineta, man. Gotta love Mineta. Of course, Aizawa grabs him with this scarf, man, to make sure he doesn't do nothing crazy. And then one of Aizawa's forces comes in there, man, to give a little announcement. Oh yeah, and I also forgot to mention that Shinso is also going to be coming, is now going to be part of Class A, which you know Monoma is seething about it, because you guys remember in Season 5, he wanted him on Class B, so I'm sure he is pissed about that. But anyway, she announces that they're going to be going that the second and third years are going to be helping out with the restoration process of rebuilding Japan. So and they're going to be reporting to her. And then she calls Aizawa old eraser, and they're like shocked by this. And then we found that she was one of his old students, which we've known since like season 1. I want to say is when we first saw her. Was it season 1 we found out that they weren't actually expelled? Which I think there's like an argument whether or not that was like legit like that legit happened, or that was like a retcon, like they initially were expelled and they were unexpelled, and I'm not sure. I forget if it was actually like that was like a retcon or if that was always a plan. But whatever the case may be, she's one of his old students, and then she eventually leaves. Then we get this sequence of Class A with a bunch of Class A's coming in there, man, while they're walking home. Kaminari mentions out there now tomorrow they'll be upperclassmen. Ida says that sorry tomorrow they're going to be busy. And then Acero mentions that we did get some downtime though. Uraraka starts getting pissed off and starts getting pissy at him. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm assuming it's just because they were both probably severely injured from the battle, that they spent a longer time in the hospital compared to everyone else. I'm not entirely sure why Uraraka's getting pissed off at Seru and be like, you don't gotta rub it. If you guys know for certain, please leave it down in the comments, because this part kind of lost me a little bit on like what exactly Seru was referring to. He said they had enough downtime. They had downtime. But the character acting here is also really good, I must say as well. And then we get to the scene that had everybody, mostly Bakudangos, throwing bitch fits aplenty, where Uraraka mentions about Izuku's having partially his hair shaved, saying that they must have shaved that part that because of your injuries, huh? And then she hopes that it grows back soon. Now, you guys, anime owners, you might not, but mongers, you guys know that for whatever reason, people were mad about this shit. Oh, were they mad? People, it was like, I'm pretty sure they were almost always Bakudangos, were throwing bitch fits aplenty over this for literally no reason. I do not know why they were on Uraraka's ass so much for this one scene, man. I am very confused. Also, one last thing I wanted to mention real quick, ladies and gentlemen. This sequence has a total of 82 likes on Sakugaburo, while the Bakugo scene only has 70. Anyway, I'm done. Now I'm done. Anyway, so they also mentioned how Tokoyami, like being makeover, Tokoyami has like a new look, which I did mention this earlier in the review, but I mentioned in my reaction to the episode, that also Koda's head is like permanently split open. I thought that was like something like when he's like Quirk Awakens, it goes bad, but no, his head is like permanently split open like we saw it in season. That's just what he looks like now. And then Uraraka says, "Oh yeah, you like it, huh?" And she has a smile on her face that Izuku immediately knows is bullshit, man. He sees right through her genjutsu. And yeah. Also, one other thing I forgot to mention: if you guys are paying attention to the background of this scene, man, with Izuku and the rest, you can notice that Monoma has his own statue. He's got a little buzz near the he got a little buzz near the entrance of the school, which I thought was funny. Anyway, they start heading up. This is when they split up, where Todoroki goes off to meet up with the rest of his family to go see Dabi, while everyone else, heads back home. And then, bro, the switch up with the key animation here is insane. Like, immediately you can see an immediate increase in quality of the drawings from here on for the rest of the episode, man, with the Todoroki family. It's also kind of jarring how much the drawings, especially with, like, Todoroki's hair, just, like, get way more up in detail in, like, this one scene throughout the rest of the episode. It's kind of jarring. It's like, whoa, what the hell? So anyway, they go into dinner. They're now inside whatever building this is. I don't think they ever say which building where they're actually at. And for some reason, Rei has her hair chopped off. Natsu has a new haircut as well. And I don't know if like their hair just got burnt off during the battle, or they both just decided to chop their hair and get new haircuts. But they both are rocking new hairstyles. While Fuyumi and obviously Todoroki are the same. Anyway, they get over to where Dabi is, man. And bro, can we take a moment to talk about how fucking cool this like contraption they got him hooked up to looks, man? Like, bro, he looks so fucking badass. Once again, you can see Horikoshi Sensei's horror influences, man, once again spilling out. Once again, I beg of you, Horikoshi Sensei, please make a horror manga next. You clearly want to, man. Like, this looks so fucking cool, man. It reminds me, I don't know where I saw this before. I forget if it's like the soul came from Bleach, or like Asla's Resurrection, or something from Black Clover, but I swear I've seen a design similar to this in some other anime I watch. I'm not sure it was in Black Clover or Bleach, but I've seen something that looks similar to this, man. Either way, man, it looks so fucking cool. With that little crown he's got on his head, man, the thing like surrounding his face, man. This contraption they got hooked up to, man, is so fucking badass. They mentioned how he can only speak for like 4 minutes because of all his burns and whatnot, man. So they're on a tight deadline with this, man. And Toya says that he's not a tourist attraction before he starts coughing his lungs up, man. Where Endeavor tells that he's gonna be that they're here at top of the future, that he's retiring. This was always the plan after the fighting was over. And he mentioned how he can't even stand on his own anymore, and that the hero Endeavor burned to death. Your flames are strong for everyone, but they mentioned that your hellfire is still burning through you. Dabi mentions, of course, that he says that's too late for him to butter him up, and then Endeavor says that you wanted me to watch you, but I wouldn't do it. He mentions how that he kept watching his accusation video over and over again, and then he says from now on he'll come every day. It's way past overdue, but let's talk. And then Dabi's heart rate starts spiking. Endeavor continues on saying, let's talk, let's use the time Rei, Natsu, Fuyumi, and Sho to make sure we have. If you hate me, go on and tell me again and again. Others start chipping in, like Rei and the others, saying they have so much they want to talk about, etc., before Dabi hits his limit. And then Todoroki has he can say one last thing, where he asks him what his favorite food is. All this is while Toya is crying and everything, man. And he doesn't say anything, so they walk away. Which this cut was handled by Akira Yamazaki. Was the anime behind this part? Was the anime behind this cut of the episode? And while they're walking away, this was really what Boris. I love the shot of Todoroki's feet as he's walking away, man. This episode was directed and boarded to perfection, I must say. Anyway, Toya then says that it's Soba, and Todoroki's like, oh, that's mine too. And then he starts crying again, saying, Shoto, I'm sorry. And then we get to when they're outside. Once again, Natsu says it again that he's done. And it seems like even though Rei and the others have made it apparent that they want to keep visiting him, or at the very least Endeavor is, I'm not sure if Fuyumi and Rei will probably join him as well, but I'm not sure if Fuyumi and Todoroki will be joining him as well. But Natsu, he says, I am done. He reiterates, like he said in season 5, he is washing his hands of Endeavor. He will not see him again. He is going to marry his girlfriend. There won't be a wedding, and he'll never get to meet her. So yeah, reiterates what he said in season 5. You can't blame him. You cannot blame Natsuo for feeling this way. And then we also found that apparently Fuyumi quit her job. For some reason, that's never explained. I'm kind of confused. What the hell even was her job? Was that ever established? Anyway. But she says that Stu's mother set her up with a new job, so she's good. He says, I think we've done our duty. I think we've done enough. Or they've been punished enough. And then Endeavor reiterates that he'll spend the rest of his life apologizing and atoning for his transgressions. And then he'll say he'll keep as much of the fall as he can from Reach and the rest of them. And then Natsuo says he'll be held. He says, yeah. And then he says, I got invited to dance. And then Natsuo says, damn, that was the first time I ever thought you said that you were cool, Dad. Well, I'm out. Anyway, he goes into the car with Fuyumi and Todoroki with him. Which at first I'm like, bro, wait, where the hell is Endeavor and Rei's transportation? And then like right after this, we found that Endeavor's driver is there with Burning, just chilling. So I was like, oh yeah, I forgot Endeavor had his own driver. And anyway, as Todoroki enters the car, he says that he has all Class 8 with him, so he'll be fine. This is when the ED starts playing, and like I said, this is when Endeavor's driver is there with Burning, so let's go see DC Douglas back in the booth again for this episode. Burning is hungry, she wants some meat, and their driver's pissed off. Like, can't you say something a bit more encouraging? Then Ray says, even in hell, there's someone watching, as I'm assuming it's Endeavor's phone, but for some reason Ray has it in her pocket. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, he asks how the visit go, and if you need any help, if you have any trouble, just ask me. And then we see the text from Hawk's point of view, where he did say like, "Hey, it went well. I'll let you know if I need any help." Though the subtitles are a bit fucked up. Says to Crunchyroll, go back to your old shit with subtitles, man. This new system you're using is shit. Go back to that old open source fan subbing shit site, a program y'all were using before, man. It worked way better than this shit, man. Seriously. Go and also go, damn. Like I said, just a quick tangent, guys. Seriously, guys, if you guys are pissed off with Crunchyroll new subtitle layouts and you much prefer their old one and want them to go back to that rather than this new format, complain. If you're gonna end your subscription, make sure you mention that, man. Go share Mother Basement's video and the short he made about this whole thing, man. Seriously. Anyway, back to the episode. He says, brave guy, picks up the phone and says, hey, and Hawks is now the new man. Is now the new Public Safety Commission president. Yes. Which is another thing people were complaining about because, Hawks was one of their subjects. Why would he take this over? Dumb shit. Anyway, guys, that is where the episode ends. And the next episode, man, this is when we get to the big one. The Cliff episode is next. Oh, damn, bitch, she looks good in black. I didn't know that. I'm literally going, I'm going through the episode right now, and I land on the shot of Best J for the next episode preview. And he's like decked out in all black, man. It looks so sick. But anyway. Next week's The Cliff episode, man. Obviously, you guys know I've mentioned countless times that I want this episode to be directed by Haruka Ida, boarded by Haruka Ida, and I want Haruka Ida herself to animate the entire Cliff section. Obviously, she's done a lot last episode, man, so I don't know if she will be able to direct the episode, man. I'm still holding out hope that she will direct an episode, man. This one, the next one, or the OVA, man. I'm still holding out hope, man, for one of them, either The Cliff or 431 will get Haruka Ida in the directorship. We'll have to wait and see on that later, but I'm still holding hope. And this next episode, man, we got some really well-lit sections, man. There's some really well-lit sections in a couple parts of in the next episode, man. Nothing from The Cliff, unfortunately, which would have been nice, but I don't know. It kind of looks like Haruka Ida's look, man. I'm probably off, man, but I want to believe that Haruka Ida will be back for the next episode. We'll also have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen, but hopefully we do in fact see Haruka Ida directing this episode, next episode, or the following episode with 431. We'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, guys, we're giving this episode 9.5 out of 10, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like it, we did subscribe for new. Follow me so you feel like it. Links are trust below. And as always, back for more. See you guys next time.